resource management. These next ones are going to go pretty fast. Resource management and estimate activity resources, and then plan communications management, also plan risk management. These next couple processes are going to go by pretty quick. I don't anticipate us getting to the end today. Maybe we'll get to qualitative or quantitative risk analysis. So let's see how far we can finish. All right, so resource management is all about defining the approach, right? Remember, guide, how we're going to proceed. It's our approach for getting the people, the materials, the supplies, all of these things within our project. And we got to consider the infrastructure of our organization, the location, any issues culturally. It could be that we're dispersed geographically, and so you have people from different parts of the globe interacting with each other. Also, internal politics. As a PM, you got to think about that too. Whether you're involved in it or not, it's going to have an impact on your project. Something you got to think about. All right. So remember, we do both physical and human resources when we're planning for resources. Right? That's why it's just plan resource management. It could be human or machine, materials or supplies. Now, in order to get this plan and a charter, we're going to get a charter. We'll talk about that. All right. We've got to come in and we've got to use our expert judgment to then represent the data that we'll use these inputs on, right? We want to create, some org charts. We want to create, some different ways of letting folks know who's on the team. All right. So let's take a look. So the resource management plan will tell you, what method, meaning the how will we choose to categorize, allocate, manage, and release resources on the project. So it's sort of like an onboarding and an offboarding plan, an acquisition plan and release plan, a training plan, safety plan, all of these things. So we need guidance. We need an approach. We need to know how to proceed in order to do these things. Now, the team charter is very different than the project charter, okay? The team charter is something that the team will agree upon. So it's something that the team will say, all right, here's if I email you, I expect a response within a day. If I leave you a voicemail, I expect, a response within 4 hours. If I text message you, I expect a response, within a half hour, something like that. Right, you'll have some agreed upon, mode of operations, and you'll need to ensure that you work with the team to do that. Many times when I create this with teams, I love to put stuff up on the wall, and then everybody come and sign it, or depending on what type of organization I'm at, sometimes we'll have ink. You'll put your handprint, so you have handprints there, or everybody signs it, or a thumbprint or something. And the good thing about a team charter is it helps you as the PM not have to be the babysitter or the parent of the team. And, when you see someone not sort of conforming or following the rules that the team made for our rules of engagement, then you can point to the wall and say, hey, I thought these were the values. What's happening here? And so, then the team can sort of manage a team and it's not you doing it. All right, we need the charter, the scope baseline, quality management plan, and project documents. The charter is going to tell us high-level requirements and the money that we have available to go out and get the people that we may need. The baseline is going to talk about what we're creating, and so from there we'll be able to determine what resources we need. Our development approach would be a part of that. Any project documents that are there that would help us identify certain resources we'll use. All right. You also think about different factors. So in EEFs, all right, the culture of your organization, and when we say culture, it could be that the culture of our organization is a virtual one. So now you've got to learn how to be a virtual project manager. How do you get people to show up on time when you can't walk over to their desk and say, hey, we're having a meeting right now? How do you get people to pay attention when, everyone's on mute and you can't hear what's going on in the background, And in many companies, not everybody's on camera. There's usually black screens. So you don't know who's whipping up eggs in the background, who's playing with the dog, who's shopping on Amazon, and then they hear their name like, oh, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't hear that. No, you heard it, you just weren't paying attention. So like, how do we combat these things? All right, so you got to think about that in the EES, and then the OPAs. What are the company's policies? What are the policies? Maybe we can't, transmit this file. Maybe I can't send you a file as an attachment in an email. Maybe I must then send you a link so that you can go log in and get that file. All right, so I got to think about those types of things. So OPAs become an input. And then we like to represent the data. We'll show a org chart. By the way, it's always best if don't put your name or your face in a very big box and have everybody coming under you. It's just never good. I'll tell you right now, if you can just eliminate this box. Everybody knows you're the PM. You don't even need to have it on there. So that's just my advice to you all, because just doing this enough, I know people look at that and they kind of get weirded out by that. So try to make, if anything, make the boxes at the bottom the largest. I need to see the faces of who's actually doing work. Right? Make those the largest, and then you make these ones the smallest. And you can do sideways ones too. These are usually the best responsibility assignment matrix, where you'll have like, here's objective 1, here's objective 2, here's objective 3, and here's objective 4. And then you'll have certain names that are in each one. And then you'll say, okay, this person is responsible for 1 and 3. This one's responsible for 2 and 3. This one for 1 and 4. This one for 4 and 2, something like that, right? So that's kind of how you can use that, or you can just have a straight up text version of it. All right, so those are the different ways that you can show sort of a hierarchical chart. And that's pretty much it, because that's just coming up with the plan. So this is just like, now that you have a plan, this is the visual of your plan.